And the person that will be handling this session today is Mr. Umazutam Justice Okedike. He's from Odiok community from Ediulu extended family in Ahoda West local government area. I'm going to invite him to take the stage from this point. And before we start the lessons, please, it is important that you pay full attention to the class. I know most of us multitask like me, but if your attention is divided, you may not really get all that he's saying. And if you have any questions while the class is going on, please put your questions in the chat. You can also raise your hand to make the class interactive. You can raise your hand if you want to speak or if you feel like there's something that needs clarification. And while he is teaching, please try as much as you can to repeat the words. You can pronounce it or say it to yourselves to get better at the pronunciations. Mekani. Mazutam.
Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. Ebele Eyuma. Okay, my name is Justice Umazutam Okedike, like I was introduced. I'm from Odiok. So I'll be taking this lesson 1 in this series. That is greetings in Ekpeye language. So you are all welcome again to the class. So like she said, you need to pay attention and ask questions, and you can as well write down things, and don't be afraid of asking any question so that you better understand. And while the lesson is going on, you can be repeating what the teacher will be saying in the class so that it will help you to store the information in long-term memory. So we have lesson 1, and we are starting at once. Okay, I'm going to be sharing my screen. Okay, I'm going to be sharing my screen so that you can see and follow. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, yellow Eja.
Okay, okay. And so we start immediately. Now, just like in the English language, you have greetings in the morning, afternoon, evening, and at special gatherings also. So likewise in Ekpeye language, we have greetings. That is, we also greet in Ekpeye language. So some of the greetings you usually add Oma. Oma, that is good. It means good. Oma is good. Like in English, you have good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You have to add Oma to it. Now, morning in Ekpeye language is Oyukwe. Oyukwe, that is morning. Afternoon is Eye. Eye. Eye also means day. Afternoon, Eye. Then evening is Ela. Ela, that is evening. So for you to say good morning, you say Oyukwe Oma. Oyukwe Oma. But now there is also something we use contractions. We don't pronounce the words, all of them together, especially the vowels that the end vowel and the start vowel in the next word. So like you see here, there is Oyukwe Uma. That is just for you to know the 2 words that make up the good morning. But in practice, you will not be saying Oyukwe Uma. If you should say it like that, people will look at you and say you don't know how to speak or that. And the aim of the class is for us to learn how to speak and speak properly. So you're going to be hearing Oyukuma. Oyukuma, that is Oyukwe, and Oma, that is good morning. Oyukuma, just like here on the screen. Oyukuma, that is good morning. Then for afternoon, the same principle is applied. Eyuma, which is eye oma. Eye oma. To put the words together, you pronounce good afternoon as eyuma. Eyuma. Then for evening is the same. For evening, instead of saying ela oma, you say eloma. Eloma. That is how Ekpeye people speak the Ekpeye language. Eloma, eyuma, oyukuma. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Then there's good night. When you want to tell somebody good night, you say ekikpudu, 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 ekikpudu. When they are all spoken together, good night, ekikpudu. Which we are not going into the literal meaning of the words that make up a good night in Ekpeye. That is not the purpose of the class for now. So we are going to be having some examples. So we have greetings associated with different events or occasions. Now, like I greeted at the beginning, I said ebeleni, ebeleni, which is like hello. Before Ekpeye people started to greet oyukuma, eyuma, eloma, the popular one, or the one that used to be the only greeting, was ebele, which is hello. Could also use it for how are you and all that, but it is a form of greeting. So the ne there in the ebeleni makes it plural. Please don't, my English is Nigerian English, please. It makes it plural. The ne in ebeleni makes it plural. So when you want to greet, you want to ask after two or more persons, you say ebeleni. But for just one person, you want to say hello, you say ebele. Ebele, that is hello. But plural is ne. You have to add a ne to it to make it plural. That is how Ekpeye goes. That is it's not like English language where you add an S or some other letters to the word. So when you want to, you also say bele bele madu, ebeleni. Bele bele means every, all in totality. Bele bele madu, madu is person or people in this case. Bele bele madu, ebeleni. You want to say hello everyone. You are greeting everyone present there. Bele bele madu, ebeleni. Then when you are like on Thursday, I went to my village for a burial, and as a married man, I'm a member of the family. Not as a youth per se, but I'm a member of the family. When the men come out, I also come out. So I went there, greeted them in a gathering like that. The family men, they were there. So I said, mekane, or ude mekane. But let's just focus on the mekane for now. Meka is thank you. Ne. The ne has appeared again. The ne means plural. You're making that word, you're addressing more than one person. That is plural when you have ne in this case. So when you say mekane, you're addressing more than one in a gathering. And if you are in a gathering where you have Ekpeye people, not only your family people, you have people from other villages, other families, not only from your community, you have people from other clans. Maybe Ekpeye people are gathered together to discuss an issue. Or in a meeting, you can say Ekpeye mekane. Or you can still add the O, Ekpeye mekane o. Then they are going to respond. So the ne, note that when you say maker to somebody, you're addressing just a singular person. But when you add a ne, ni, ne, it means you're addressing more than one person. So you can't go to a gathering and say maker. No, that maker, you're addressing just one person. So you say mechanic, Ekpeye mechanic. In other situations, like I said, I went to my family. I was addressing my family, so I had to add my family, like Odoye, Ude, mechanic. You can still say in a community. Please, this what I'm explaining now is not on the screen. You can go to maybe a community. You want to address the people there, or you want to greet them. You say, like, I'm from Odiok. You say Odiok mechanic or Odiok mechanic before you proceed with your speech. So you have to call the name of the people gathered. That is, if they have a collective name, a general name for them. You say Ahoda mechanic or Ekpeye mechanic. Then on the screen you have, this is not actually a greeting, but it is used a lot. You can even start a conversation with this, the last, a shout of victory or a shout used in celebration. Some of you must have heard Ochochocho. Ochochochochochocho. Whoa, whoa. Oche. Hey. You might have heard it for those who are new to the language. It is just a shout of victory. Let's say there's an achievement. Let's say, and there's a childbirth. A woman just gave birth. The person announcing will not just begin by saying, this person has given birth, this person has given birth. The person announcing will begin with that ochochocho, so that people around will hear and come even without knowing what has happened or the celebration. But once an Ekpeye person hears ochochocho, the person automatically knows that something good, something worth celebrating has happened, and you join in shouting the ochochocho with them before asking what has happened. So we say the person we say ochochochochochocho. I don't know how many you can say. The chochocho can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, depends on the person making the announcement. So I can say ochochochochocho. Then you respond uwo, uwo, oche, but only one person, not always though, but only one person can start with ocho. Then others will respond uwo, oche, Please, you can note down your questions. Let's move to the next. Then now, when you are asked a bele, or let's say you're in a gathering of more than one, you're with somebody and someone comes and says ebeleni, that is hello, or the literal meaning of that word is how are you doing, somehow like that. So you can respond by saying yes. Ebeleni, you can say there's also another word. You can say owe. I think we are going to encounter that word during the course of this lesson. Owe. You can say owe. Ebeleni. Owe, which is a yes. Then we have yes for when you want to answer yes, we want to say yes in Ekpeye language. You say ejale, that is, have you come? Or welcome, you answer or you can answer owe. Then the no, you have them 3 letters there. Which is no. Is no. Then you have we have joker, which is fine. Joker. They're introducing these words because we use them in greetings. Joker, which is fine. Okay, then me is that is I. It also means me. Depends on the usage in the sentence. Then when I'm referring to someone else, you say yeah. It could be he. It could be she. You say yeah. Yeah. You have me. Different different tones depending on the usage in the sentence. So now we have words and phrases associated with greetings. When you want to now, like in Ekpeye language, we don't have like in English, you can refer to people and all that without using all these other pronouns like that. But in Ekpeye, you have to put the pronouns at all times. Anytime you hear be or be, bele, you are referring to other people. That is they, them, be. Depends on the usage. That is, the tone depends on the usage of that word, the they and the them and the their in the sentence. So you have be for they. And when you're referring to them, you have be, which is a shorter version of bele. You have be. That is, that thing belongs to them. Be. That thing belongs to them. Or they are the owner of that thing. Then they are also the same thing. As we use them in the sentence, then you can differentiate while translating to English. Then we have I am, measure, I am coming, for example, or I am fine, I'm doing well. Measure joker. Remember, the other slide, the other page, we introduced joker. Joker is fine. Fine on its own is fine. You can also say well, doing well also. You can say doing well as joker. You can say fine. So when you ask, okay, we've not got into that part where we ask how are you and all that. But the response is meji joker. Ndekpejela. Now take note of how I am trying to contract. I'm trying to contract some letters at the end of, that is vowels, at the end of each word will be replaced by the next vowel. Ndekpejela. Instead of saying ndekpo ejelela, but as someone who is encountering the language for the first time or learning the basics, you can still pick the words one while you improve. So you can still say ndekpo ejelela. Ndekpo ejelela. Anyone who hears you pick the words one, we know that, okay, that this person is learning and they are going to help you to learn faster and better. So you can say ndekpejelela. Ndekpejelela. How are you? How are you? Then you respond meji joka. I am fine. I am doing well. Meji joka. Me, as introduced before, is me or I. Me, I is me. Je is being, like present condition. Then joka is fine or well. So ndekpejelela. Meji joka. That is usually the response, because in Ekpeye and other parts in Nigeria, we usually respond positively to such questions. How are you? It's usually positive. Though you may not be fine, but at least just say you are fine. Then if you are close to the person, you can begin to explain other maybe any negative response you may have. So ndekpejela meji joka. Ndekpimela. Ndekpo imelela. That is speaking the words one. Ndekpo imelela. You can still go that way. But as you improve, you need to drop some vowels at the end of each word to sound like a native speaker. Ndekpimela, which is how are you doing? Ndekpejelela, how are you doing? Ndekpejelumela, how are you doing? Which is now in Ekpeye you can say mean the same thing using different ways to mean the same thing. Like in this example, this first example, ndekpimela, ndekpejelumela. That is how are you doing? It's still, they all mean the same. There's someone can come to you. Let's say your name is Okpo. Okpo is a short form of Okpara, which is an Ekpe adaptation of the Igbo name. Okpara or Okpara. We have Okpo. Like here. How are you doing, Okpo? Okpo, ndekpimela. Okpo, ndekpimela. You can still go that way, which is how are you doing, Okpo? Or Okpo, how are you doing? Okpo, ndekpimela. Then your response should be mesh joker. Or there's also another response. Sorry. Ndekpimela. Can say mesh joker. You can still use that response. And since it's a beginner class, there are other responses you could use, but let's just go with that one. Mesh joker, the one we've introduced. So joker is fine. Thank you. Thank you is maker. You can still use that maybe in a conversation with somebody. After the conversation, you can still say maker, which is thank you. Maker is not only used when someone has given you something, maybe a physical thing. Then maker is thank you. Maker is thank you. Then you can say hi. You can use ebele as hi, hello. Ebele, ndekpejelela. Ebele, ndekpejelela. That is hi, how are you? Ebele. But when you are referring to more than one person, you want to say hi. You don't just say, like in English, hi, maybe referring to more than one persons. But in Ekpeye, you have to differentiate singular from plural. So you can say, ebeleni, ndekpejenila. Ebeleni, ndekpejenila. So you can say like that, or just say it straight, ebele, ndekpejela. Then the response is usually mejijoka, ajijoka, which is I'm fine for the first one, mejijoka. Then second one, if you're addressing more than one person, for plural case, you say ajijoka. We are still going to, in the course of the lesson, know some of all these things that I'm saying. So now you want to ask the person also who has asked you or who has greeted you and asked you, how are you doing? And you've responded, Meshijoka, you can ask, Yola, how about you? And you? Yola, and you? Which is the same response. The person can respond, Meshijoka or Meshideho Joka. I'm also doing very well. Okay, please take note. You can still ask questions. Then you have a friend. The word for friend in Ekpeye is muje, muje, muje me, muje you, muje dame. Now remember, I'm using me. Me is me or I in Ekpeye. So anywhere you hear me, it is most likely me in English. That is I or me. Then Eda is father. Eda me, my father. Eda me, my father. Ena me, my mother. Ena me, my mother. Then Ena is mother, Eda is father. Then walk is ugbolo. Ugbolo is walk. Ordo is house. It also means home. I gave an example of me having to greet my family people in the village on Thursday when I went to the village. And in the sentence I used, I said, "Ude odoye," that is speaking the words one. Odoye, mekane. That is our. It also means family. Our family. Our family. Odo is family. Like I used, it's also family. Please take note. Everything may not be written down in the PDF that I'm using. So Odo is home, is house, is also family. Odo is family. So please take note of this word now I want to introduce. You in Ekpeye language is yo. Yo. Y-O, spelled Y-O. So anywhere you hear yo in Ekpeye, it is you. It is you. In singular, you. You can also say yo, YOLO, and all that. I think we are going to come across that word in the course of the lesson. Then Ndekpo dayo jilela. How is your father? Ada is father. Ndekpo is how. Ndekpo, how is your father? Ndekpo dayo jilela. They're asking someone is asking after your father. Ndekpo do. Or you can short it like a native speaker. You can say, instead of Edayo, you can say Ido, removing the A and the Y. You can say Ido or Ido. Ndekwi do jilela. How is your father? Then you can respond Oje Joka. Then Ena is mother. Ndekwi nayo jilela. Ndekwi no jilela. How is your mother? Ena meje Joka. Here, Eda meje Joka. My father is fine, or my father is doing well. My mother is fine, or my mother is doing well. That is Eda meje Joka. Ena meje Joka. Or if the person asks in the same sentence also ask you, Dekbi do li no uje bela. Remember I said be is they, them, there. So whenever you hear be in Ekpeye, no, they are talking about them, there, they. So you can respond, Edamele name jibe joka. That is, my father and my mother are fine, or they are doing well. So then another sentence, how is my family is fine? They can ask you, Ndekpo do yo jilela. Ndekpo do jebela. That be, they are referring to people apart from yourself. Them, in this example, I don't know if you can see this my cursor. Ndekpo do jebela. Okay, the English translation here should be, how is your family? How is your family? Now someone is asking after your family. Ndekpo do yo. That is your own family. For example, for married people who have their own wife or husband, they have their own family. Ndekpo do jebela. Then you can respond, Odo me jibe joka. My family is fine. Odo is family in this case. Odo is also home, is also house, the physical house. So Odo me jibe joka. My family is fine. It could also mean my home is fine. Depends on the usage. Then let's move to the next slide. Words and phrases associated with greetings. Muje. Muje is friend. Muje me. Muje dame. So when you hear muje, you know the person is referring to friend. Muje. Then me. Me is me or I, depends on the usage in the sentence. Ndekbo is how. E referring to you. Jile la. That la is like adding a question. But there are other ways people can also speak and ask a question without using la, this last word here. So how are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Muje me. Ndekbe la. Ndekbe jile la. Muje me. Ndekbe jile la. My friend, how are you? Or how are you, my friend? So please take note. Muje is friend. Me is me. Is also I. Ndekbo is how. E referring to you. Je is be, to be. Le. Then la makes it a question. Ndekbe la. Muje me ndekbe la. Then your response should be, which is a normal thing. You say you are fine. I am fine. Meji joka. Meji joka. Then for welcome, let's say welcome has two, you have to welcome. Let's say you are welcoming people visiting you. You are welcoming visitors to your home or to your place of work or where you are also. You say ejale. Ja in Ekpeye is come. Ejale, you have come. But just for English translation, we say just translate it to welcome. But the literal meaning is have you come? Or have you come, which is like a question. Ejale. Ejale, for someone who is visiting you in your home. Ejale, which is welcome, translated to English. Then when you are welcoming someone living in your house, maybe your parent, your brother, your sister, living with you, anybody living with you, you say eyale, ele, which has been shortened to ele, which is what you see here. Ele, eyale is the full pronunciation. Eyale, which is have you returned or you have returned, which is a question like I explained earlier. It's like a question, but in English now the translation should be welcome. So whenever you're let's say you're living with your parent or anybody you're living with returns home, you say ele or eyale. Then the person will respond owe or mayalemo. Owe is yes. Then ejale for your visitors. When you have visitors, ejale. For plural, you have to add the ni. For plural, you have to add ni. So eleni, you are telling more than one person welcome. That is people living with you. Eyaleni, that ni makes it plural. Ejaleni or ejeni, ejaleni, which is have you come? That is welcome. You are referring to more than one person. Then let's say safe journey or goodbye. Now the same principle applies here. You have a ekiduma, iduma. That is, may you arrive later, literally. May you arrive later at the time you arrive at your destination. Now, you can pronounce it like someone who is learning iduma. They will understand what you are saying. But as time goes on, you can get better and pronounce ekiduma, leaving out some vowels at the end of the first word, eke. Then, or you can say nwaduma, which is still safe journey or goodbye. Nwaduma. Then, when you are sending somebody off, let's say, person living with you, or the person is coming back, not a visitor in this case, someone who you are with, maybe in your office, or at home, you want to tell your brother or your sister or mother or father who is going out, you want to tell them goodbye or safe journey, because you know they are returning. They are not going to their home where they live. They live with you. You all live together, or they are coming back to where you are. You say ekize, ekeize, ekize, or nwaze, or nwaze, ekize, ekizeni. You can still add o, ekizeni o, ekizeni. That is goodbye or safe journey. Safe journey in this case. Nwazeni o, nwazeni o, nwaze, ekize, nwaze. So that is goodbye. That is safe journey, which they all mean the same. Okay, we are running out of time. Then we have some few examples. As we continue learning, we are going to learn more new words. We have wana me. Me is me. Me. Wana me. The wana is brother or sister. The meaning of wana. So anytime you hear wana, they are referring to a brother or a sister, maybe not biological brother, not siblings, not siblings per se, but anybody in your extended family, or someone can just call you a brother, just like we do in Nigeria. We call ourselves brother, sister. So there's no particular, okay, there's also a way you can say wana and they are referring to a female, or wana referring to a brother. But in this case, example 1 says wana me, my brother, my sister. Oyukuma. Oyukuma. Oyukuma is good morning. Good morning, my brother. Good morning, my sister. Or you can use oyukwe at the beginning. Oyukuma waname. Oyukuma waname is still the same. Can go from the front or go from the back. Waname, oyukuma, my brother, my sister, good morning. Then the number 2 example there we have is makade ho. Makade ho. Your visitors can say, or your visitor, in this case is singular. Your visitor can say, I'll be going, or I want to go. Makade ho. Once they say they want to go, also just your response should be ekiduma for a visitor, like someone returning to their home. Ekiduma. Or if there are more than one, plural, in a plural case, you can say ekidumane. Ekidumane. That ne makes the whole sentence plural. Ekidumane, that is safe journey. For singular person, ekiduma. For plural case, you say ekidumane. That is response when a visitor is leaving. Then you say ele for welcome, which is, like I explained, is a question. Ele. Eyale. Ya is return. Have you returned? Ele. But in English, it's not proper to put it that way. We'll translate it as welcome. So are you back? Have you come? Ele. The response should be mayelemu or owe. In this case, which is yes. I think another class is going to explain better the meaning of owe and when to use it. So I think we are coming to the last here, the end of the lesson. So let me just quickly do a recap. We've talked about morning, the greetings in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Morning is oyukwe. Afternoon, or the day, afternoon, is eye. Evening is ela. So to say good morning, as translated in Ekpeye, that's the normal usage now, you say oyukuma. Oyukuma, which is good morning. Eyuma, eye uma, eyuma, good afternoon. Eloma, ela uma, eloma, which is good evening. You can still say ebele, ebele, or ebele, depends on the usage, the tone can change. Ebele, ebelene, or ebelene, which is plural case. Then we looked at some examples. We said Muje is friend, Eda is father, Ena is mother, Ugbolo is work. So yo is you in English. That is translation. Yo is you. Odo is home. It is house. It is also family. So Ndekbo, whenever you hear Ndekbo, you are exchanging pleasantries with somebody or greeting, then you hear Ndekbo, you have to pay more attention and know that Ndekbo is, they want to ask you how you are doing or how someone else is doing. Ndekbo. Say, just respond, Ojibe Joka, or Idame, Iname, Ojibe, Be, is they, is them, is there. Ojibe Joka. Joka is fine. Fine or very well. So Meka, you go to a formal gathering, or let's say people are just sitting around, maybe and you know they are Ekpeye people. Say Mekane, Mekane, before you do other introductions. So I think we are Meji is I am. Me is me. Ya is he or she. Yes is No is You can begin to practice this maybe with another Ekpeye person. You can just say, maybe they can speak to you in English. Have you done this? Have you done so and so? Have you done something? They say, you can respond, you can just start with that, or they say, or you can respond no, which is for no. I think we should end here and take questions. So, you take with kwa, ajuju jojo, you take with kwa. That is anyone who has a question, you can ask. So I'm going to hand over to our moderator, Mwanaye Umasoe Igwe, that's our sister, Umasoe Igwe, for the question.
Mika Bo Umazutam. Okay, I think we should give a round of applause to our teacher. I also learned something from him, even if I've been speaking Ekpeye. You can use the emojis, you can use the chat box, clap, or put your favorite emoji. Let's appreciate our teacher. Mika Bawana. Okay, it's question time. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, or you need clarifications, this is the time. So you can ask your questions, and you can actually raise your hand to speak. You don't have to put it in the chat. I think we have some questions in the chat already. I'm going to read them out, but if you'd like to speak to ask your question, please go ahead. Okay, we have Olufunke. The floor is yours.
Hi, Mecca. I was going to ask, how do you say husband, wife, child, those family members? I know we learned mother and father.
Okay, Justice, I started as answer.
Okay. Husband, wife, I think it's not in the scope of this lesson 1. We have it in another lesson. It should be in lesson 2 or so, where we are going to bring those words out. But for now, let me just answer. Husband is, you can say Iji. Ijime, my husband. Ijime. Or Ebome. Ebo is husband. Iji is husband. Wife is Nwenime, my wife, or Nweniya, his wife. Nweni is his wife. You can still use Ununwe me, that's my woman. You can still refer to the woman as a wife. Ununwe me. Me is me. Then I don't remember the other ones you asked.
A child,
What
like a
other words?
daughter or
Child.
son.
Okay, child. Child is unwo. 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 And the O is pronounced as O. Unwo. 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 The O is O. Unwo. That is child. Then brother, sister, wana. Wana. Can say wana me. Wana me aukuma. I think it's in another lesson. I will break down the wana. You can refer to the wana as brother or sister. So I don't know if I answer your question just for now.
Yes, you did.
Okay. The next person is user. Your name is not registered, so I'll call you user. That's the name on the screen. Please go ahead. Your hand is raised. User. You can unmute to speak. Hello. Okay, let's take from God's time.
Please, what is the meaning of unwa?
Please repeat. That's from
Meaning
Vic.
of unwa.
Okay, Justice Inajoyoka.
And that's child, but not unwa. It's unwo. Unwo. Instead of a, you say o at the end of the word. Unwo. Yes, that is child. There's still another word for children, but it's not in the scope of this lesson. Lesson 1. Lesson 1 is just for greetings.
Okay, we have 3 other hands raised. God's time.
Okay, Ebele, my question is, what's the difference between Z and Kade? Z and Kade. I think they are both. I just want to know the difference.
Okay, Z is good. The two of them, they are very close, but they're not used the same way. When you Z is like, let's say you want to send someone on an errand, for example. You say Z, Zeni Muji, Zeni Muji. Go on an errand for me. That Z in that case now, the go in that case, you use Z. You don't say Kadeni Uji. You don't use the Kade. So the Kade now, Kade is when someone, let's say you want to go out, or people who have come and who were with you, they want to leave. They use Kade as go. Udiga hobo kada Kade, Udiga bo Kade, Udiga bo Kade. That is, they want to go. You don't say Udiga bo Ze in that case. So I don't know if I answered your question, but the two of them, they are very close, but not used in the same situation. So Kade and Ze, they are still, and sometimes you can still say Kaze, which is still like a move, Kaze, Kade. You are telling people to move or to go. I know it may not be that clear right now. Thank you, Mika.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. God's time. Asatama Jojo.
Okay, for me, as I thought, I think a minimum, those of us joining for the first time can also get the learnings, because it can be used depending on, just as he explained, depending on the context. So they almost mean the same thing, kind of movement, and also, but on different contexts. Thank you, Mika.
Okay, Mika. We still have 4 hands. User, the person with the name user, are you ready to speak? You can unmute. Okay, he's not ready yet. Capricia.
Mecca. So I was actually trying to find out, will we have access to the recording or the PDF or both? And if so, how do we access it?
Okay, yeah. The recorded session will be shared. The link to the recording is going to be shared to everybody who registered for this class via email. I think in the next 24 hours, you should get the recordings for this class. Okay, David.
I'm ready.
Okay, Mecca, Ebeleni.
Oh,
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding the plural rule. So if I'm greeting good morning to a group of people, it'll be Noanani me Oyukuma. Is that correct?
yes, it's still Oyukuma. You don't use Oyukumane. You don't add a name for more than one person. You still say Oyukuma.
Okay, so you don't say Noanani.
Yes, don't add NI. You don't use name for the good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Just say Oyukuma. Or there is another way we could also say, you can, that's like the example, one of the examples that I gave. Bele bele, which is every. You can say, and madu is people or persons. You can say Oyukuma bele bele madu, which is good morning, everybody. Oyukuma bele bele madu. Let's say in a gathering, a religious gathering, or so, maybe in church, for example. You can say Oyukuma bele bele madu, or you can say Ebeleni bele madu Ebeleni. So that is when you can use bele, but just normal greeting, can greet a
I want to ask
group
a
of persons
question.
Oyukwe, Oyukuma. You don't have to add the plural to it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mika.
Okay, do we still have questions? Someone was speaking. Is there any other question? Okay, I'm going to check the charts. Okay, we have a question in the chat. What one means in the phrase Maduma? Yes, Shijade.
Measure them. Okay, was that what the other person
Only
was
the
asking?
Shadajoli.
I think so. Okay. Yeah, Nwaduma, or Ekiduma is one way to say it. Ekiduma or Nwaduma, the meaning just, how do I explain it now in English? Just, may you arrive. May you arrive safely or so. That's just the nwa. It doesn't have just I don't know exactly how to now put it, because sometimes to translate to English there may not be any particular word for it in English. There may not be any particular word in it because the two languages, they are not related, and to translate sometimes translating from English to Ekpeye, they are not since their word view, they are different and all that. But the nwaduma, just okay, something like that. Okay, safe journey, nwaduma. I hope it's clearer now. Nwaduma, okay, arrive safely or safe journey. I hope I tried to answer the question.
Yes, I think that should be clear. Maybe if the question has been answered to your satisfaction, you can put in the chat, you can speak. I think that's our last question.
Mechanic,
Okay, the Victory said no. Can you raise your hand and speak? Hello? Okay, let's proceed. Okay, hi, next. Yes, you can go on and ask your question. I think this should be the last question.
Okay, Mekani Bebelemadu. Can you hear me, please?
Yes,
Yes,
clearly.
we can hear you.
Okay, so in a situation where you want to address, let's say, more than one of, let's say, your relative, how would you greet them? Is it supposed to be Mekani Umuwaname, or how exactly? That's just the question.
Okay. Let's say your relatives would, let's say they may not be from your family, maybe your cousins from other families, they are just gathered. You can see say, just like you said, now in this situation, you don't use, since it is an informal, not a kind of gathering of people meeting and all that, no need to say mekane. You can just say oyukuma umonwaname or ebelene umonwaname emine damele name and all that. Instead of using maker, now where you use maker, let's say in a situation, your family they are seated, you use maker, which is thank you, which is also a way of introduction. And that is when you use maker. Let's say people are seated in a meeting, formal gathering, sometimes an informal gathering. Just like I used the example of myself on Thursday, I went to the village for a burial then. As I was going inside the community, I met group of young men seated and drinking and just relaxing. So I couldn't just pass like that. I had to greet them properly. But that type of greeting is not in the scope of today's lesson. There's another lesson that we cover that kind of greeting, because it's not just one line greeting where you have to greet a number of people and introduce yourself, say your maternal home, family, and all that, and greet the elders and all that. That is for another lesson. But for situation, let's say you have just your cousins, your uncles and aunts, you just say oyukuma bebe mado or oyukuma emene omonwaname, oyukuma emene damele name, oyukuma, you can say ebelene. So I don't know if I answered your question, if you are satisfied.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much, Meka.
Okay, thank you so much. So as the lesson progresses, we are going to explain better all these things. I know you have many questions, but we are going to introduce more words, more statements, and explain them better, and it will help us in our conversations. Meka.
Okay, Yamigweke Bolani. Okay, Capricia, and after Capricia, King Prince, you can ask. So Capricia, the floor is open.
Sorry, I didn't have another question. I'm just gonna lower my hand now.
Okay. King Prince.
The human very much.
Dele.
I was in an occasion recently, and then there was this word they used, and they said Ekpeye mechanic. And normally it's supposed to be Ekpeye mechanic. I don't know what's that. What does that equal mean?
Okay,
Mazuka.
Yes.
Okay, now there's also another one that people use, alukpo. You can hear alukpo. But okay, let me answer. You don't use ekpelogbo, American. where Ekpeye people, they are gathered, a lot of them from different clans, different age groups, age grades and all that, men, women. You don't use Ekpeye Lugbamekan or Ekpeye Lugbomekan. The Ekpeye Luku, that is great. Uku is also means great in Ekpeye. Uku. So Ekpeye Luku, Mekan Ekpeye in their number, in a great number. Mekan. That's the Uku there in Ekpeye. In that statement, you just used to ask the question. Ekpeye Luku, Mekan. Yes. The Uku there is great number also. And you don't just use it for a small number. So let's say Ekpeye people are meeting at Ehuda. That's Ehuda town. They have a general meeting. You can use that. Ekpeye Luku Amekan. Ekpeye Luku Amekan. So Ekpeye, the great number of people, preparing to a great number of people. Okay. I'll be quick. The answer. So I hope I gave an answer that satisfies you for just for now. Then for later, we can still ask our questions. Later, before the next lesson, you can still ask, we'll clarify and answer those questions.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mika.
Okay, I think that's the last question. You know, the Mika. Okay, if you have any other questions, you can drop them in the WhatsApp group and we can still address them after the class. So let's appreciate our instructor for today once again. You can clap, put emojis in the chat. Our instructor is also our translation manager at Speak Ekpeye Fluently. So most of the posts you see on social media with translations are actually from him. So we appreciate him very much, Mika. Moving forward, our next class is next Sunday, same time. But before the class, if you'd like to practice what you've learned today, if you feel like you can start having conversations, I mean, you can connect with somebody in the WhatsApp group, schedule a time and use the Clubhouse. So it's a dedicated app for voice messages and sharing. So we think it's going to be a very good place to practice what you've learned. I mean, it's a no judgmental zone. So no matter how you speak, if you're very fluent, if you're just learning, you're always welcome. And the only language accepted in Clubhouse will be Ekpeye so that people can actually practice. And before this class, we did a call for volunteers, those who would like to lead sessions or practice sessions. And so far, 2 persons have indicated interest. So if you feel you still like to lead conversations or want to have practice sessions with people, I mean, it's a completely informal setting. So feel free to say what you know, what you've learned. It could be a word, it could be a full sentence. You're always welcome to practice because in practice, that is how you get better. Before we wrap up, if you can see my screen, we have a QR code. If you need more resources, we have some recorded lessons already on transparentlanguages.com. You can still practice there. You can also download more materials. If you scan the QR code, it takes you to our Linktree page where you have different Ekpeye resources. And if you also want to support our work that we do, you can also make a donation. The link is on this QR code as well. So just scan the QR code. I'll also drop the link in the chat. The link to join the Clubhouse is also here, and also the link to the WhatsApp group to those who are yet to join in. Godside, can you share the link in the chat if you have it handy? Okay, I saw in the chat, can you upload the PowerPoint? we are going to share the recorded lesson, so I think that'll be helpful too. We are going to share the link in the WhatsApp group once it's available for download. Okay. So we've come to the end of today's class. At this point, I think we can say ocho cho 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 wo oche because we've successfully completed lesson 1. So the next class is going to be on family and people. You're going to learn how to address people properly and what they are called in Ekpeye. So we look forward to seeing you in the next class. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free to drop them in the WhatsApp chat. And if you'd like to invite more persons to join the class, if it has been valuable to you, please use the link to invite more persons. Mekan. Okay, I'm going to drop the link. So. For those that are still here, I just dropped the link to the QR code in the chat. It has a link to everything you need to know about the class. Ekani, bye and see you next week Sunday.